ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class, lesson 5, Nectar of Instruction. Today's session is from text number 7 up to the 11. श्री राधा गोविंद की जय, श्री गौर निताई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। What we have studied till now, this is, we can just have a recap. The three categories of devotees and how to associate with them. That is Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari and Kanishtadhikari. And we should accept a Uttamadhikari as the spiritual master, because our growth in spirituality is depending on our Guru. And inappropriate attitude towards the seeing the external features, that is Gangambasam, how the water of the Ganga will have some froth or bubbles like that. There may be external features which may not look proper, but we should not consider it as low. Appropriate attitude towards dealing with the empowered Vaishnava, how we should look at a Vaishnava, that is also explained in the text number 6. Now continuing further, today we are having text number 7 to 11, and here we'll be studying the highest stage, that is, it talks about the chanting of the holy name and the hierarchy, and then finally the conclusion. All of you take out the textbooks, that is Nectar of Instruction. You can see the text number 7 there. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadisitapi Avidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya Narochikano Kintu Adaradhanudinam Khalu Saiva Jushta Swadvikramad Bhavati Tadgadamula Hantri. Nita Mataji, you can read it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Sri Upadeshamrit, text 7. The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet, just like sugar candy. Although the tongue of our afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, and that is ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet. It is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So the chanting of the holy name is very sweet, and everyone likes the sweet. But at the same time, for us, this doesn't look very sweet. The reason is not, the problem is not there with the sweet, but it is with the tongue that we are tasting. If our tongue is afflicted by jaundice, then the taste of the sweet, it looks bitter, or it is very difficult to consume that sweet. So this is the root cause of all our problems. That is, we are trying to become happy by material adjustments. So that is the diseased condition. Then what is our healthy condition? In healthy condition, we all are servant of Lord Krishna. Jivera Sarupahaya Krishnera Nityadasa. Being servant of the Lord is the natural position of every living entity. Just like a small child, it is happy when it is with the mother. But when it is not having the mother with him, then the child will cry. And you cannot stop the crying of the child by supplying anything else. If you try to do that, it will work for some time. And then again, it will start crying, because the real need is not fulfilled. The real purpose is not fulfilled. When we come to this material world, we try to adjust the things in so many ways. I try to get whatever I like, so many desires I have. I think that if I fulfill all these desires, then I can become happy. And we work hard for fulfilling all these desires. And at the final stage, we will realize that these things are not enough, or these things cannot make me happy just by fulfilling all these desires. Then what is the real healthy condition that we have to achieve? So in this, like when we don't have some better thing or the best thing to have, then we will try to adjust with the whatever available, that is the lower things, the material things which are easily available, or the easily pleasing. Because as we seen in the Bhagavad Gita, the tamoguna or rajoguna, it is very easy. It is not as difficult as sattoguna to develop. Sattoguna, in the beginning, it looks very like a poison. It gives a lot of pain, but it is nectar at the end. But rajoguna is nectar at the beginning. And when you are practicing it, when you start it, it looks very attractive. Then as gradually you go on, it will become very bitter in nature. So that is the diseased condition of living entity. And what is the solution for this living in diseased condition? This material world is a temporary place, and it is full of misery. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Krishna has certified it. Now, how to get out of this? The solution is the same. Even though the holy name is tasting bitter, one must have it. One must continue to practice spirituality. Then gradually we will develop the taste. Like the jaundice, a jaundice patient will taste the sugar candy juice to be bitter. But the solution or the medicine for jaundice is the same sugar cane juice. When we chant the holy name of the Lord continuously, always, then the Jivera Sarupahaya Krishnera Nitya Dasa, that nature, the servant nature which is there within us, Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakta Sadhya Kabunaya, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karayodaya. It is already there within our hearts to love the Lord. But when we don't have the love, the real object of love, then we express this love in so many ways. So that real real object of love, when it is available, then our life gets fulfilled. The real purpose of the life will be achieved. And we have so many blind leaders and society which will drag us away from Krishna, and it will show us so many imaginary enjoyment, so that the person will get carried away by those things. But one who is firmly fixed and completely, fully convinced about the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada, or Lord Shri Krishna, then one can make his life successful. Otherwise, the person will fall down, or the person will remain in this durashraya, or the material world, which is giving a false shelter. It looks like shelter. I feel everything's uncomfortable, but suddenly it will be removed of all those things. So this is called as darkness. But Krishna is like the sun. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhakara, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi, Mayara Adhikara. When the sun rises, all the darkness will go away. If there is no sun, if you observe in the dark, we cannot even see ourselves. We cannot see our hand itself. Nothing is visible. It's fully, completely dark. But if even though the darkness is so thick, but still, when the sun rises, all the darkness will go away. So that is the power of sun. That's why Krishna is compared to the sun here, who can dissipate all the darkness of life. So the solution given by Rupa Goswami, that is chanting the holy name of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread this holy name everywhere, and Srila Prabhupada also has taken this to the Western world and distributed it. Many people have taken it, its advantage, and they have gone back to Godhead. In the chanting process, there are 3 stages that they are called as Nama Paradha, Nama Bhasa, and Shuddha Nama. Every day morning after Mangalarti, we chant the 10 offenses towards the holy name. If we are chanting with these offenses, with any of these offenses which we are performing, then our chanting is in the Nama Parada state. That means we are performing this sin and then we are chanting along with. So this is not acceptable. It's very low level of chanting. When we are, if you hear that 10 instructions or 10 offenses that one has to avoid, these things should be followed throughout the day. It is not only during the chanting process. Because the first offense is to blaspheme the devotees. Second offense is to consider names of demigods to be equal to or independent of Lord Krishna. Third offense, disobeying the spiritual master. Fourth offense, blaspheming the Vedic literature. Fifth offense is the considering chanting the holy name as imagination. Seventh offense is, sixth offense is gives to mundane interpretation. Seventh offense, committing sinful activities. Sorry for the interruption. So sixth offense is give some mundane interpretation to the holy name, and seventh offense is committing sinful activities. Eighth offense is considering the chanting of the holy name as karma kanda portion of the Vedas. And ninth offense is instructing the faithless. 10th offense is maintaining material attachment even after understanding the spiritual subject matter. So if these 10 offenses, if you observe, these are not committed during the chanting process. These are committed during other times when you are dealing with the people, dealing with the devotees, or when you are performing so many other activities. What does it mean? Our chanting goes on throughout the day. Throughout the day, whatever you are doing, it is a preparation for your chanting. What is the intention of repeating or remembering these 10 offenses is to remind a person or to warn a person to avoid these 10 offenses during his day so that his chanting in the morning will be pure. We don't offend or we don't blaspheme any devotee during our chanting, or we don't consider the names of demigods to be equal during our chanting, or disturbing the spiritual master, or blaspheming the Vedic literature, or imagination, or interpretation, sinful activities, karma kind devotion. None of this will come during the chanting process. This is all coming otherwise when we are in doing any service, or when you are going to outside talking to people. This is the time where your real preparation for chanting is performed. Now, in one day, if you have avoided all these chanting offenses, then next day your chanting will be very good. But if you are not chanting, if you are not taking care of yourself by avoiding these 10 offenses during the daytime or during the time other than the chanting, then the chanting gets affected. So the chanting is the test, and whole day you are doing the preparation. So when you are continuously doing this offensive chanting, one of the offense is being inattentive while chanting. This is the offense which is other than 10. That is, we are telling it to after 10. 10th offense is maintaining material attachment. And after that, it is told it is also offensive to be inattentive while chanting. This is especially told for the Kali Yuga people, because generally when we speak something, we mean it. But it is only during chanting, we say something, but our mind is somewhere else. It is like you say something, but you don't mean it. You're praying to Radharani, please give me Krishna service, please give me Krishna service, please engage me in the service of Lord. But I myself not at all aware that I had prayed like that to the Lord. So that is called inattentive chanting. So this is also one of the offense which has to be avoided. Now these offensive chanting, it is also having some benefits. Any spiritual activity that we do, it will not go away without any benefit or without giving any anything. So there is some benefit. What is the benefit? It is the benefit of what you get otherwise with so much difficulty. You will get it here very easily. The person, even though he is aspiring for a spiritual progress, he will get material things. The material benefits only it will generate. But you will not be able to advance in the spiritual platform. So that is the Namaparada state. A person, if he chants for so many lifetime in the Namaparada state, it will not elevate himself from the material platform to the spiritual platform. Then what is the solution? The solution is we have to train our mind, because mind has to be involved in chanting. The chanting process itself is a cleansing of the mind. Cheto darpana marjanam. Mind is considered or compared to a mirror, and cleaning the mirror is the chanting process. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana. When you are doing chanting, you are cleaning your mind. So what is the need for cleaning the mind? The mind is the one which can take us close to Krishna, or it can take us away from Krishna. The mind is connecting us to the external world. All the 10 senses, they are connected to the mind. And the mind, through the mind, the soul can experience whatever happening in the outside world. Now this, if the mind is contaminated, that is colored by the 3 modes, then whatever we observe outside, it will also look colored. A tamoguni person, how he looks at the material world is completely different from a sattva-guna person or a rajaguna person. just say, for example, there is a person who is sattvic in nature. When he goes to a garden, when he goes to a big, nice forest, which is very peaceful, calm, what things comes to his mind? He will feel that, oh, this is a very nice place where I can chant the holy name of the Lord. There is no disturbance. Nobody is creating any trouble here. It's very peaceful and I can easily concentrate on the holy name of the Lord. So he will think in that way. If a Rajogana person, if he looks at the same forest or garden, he will think, oh, what is the worth of this land? How much money this land can be sold? And what this earth, this mud can grow here? And how much profit I can make out of this? To whom this land belongs to? All these things will come to him. And if a Tamoguna person goes there to a forest, he will be very happy to find a solitary place where he can do anything. Nobody is going to catch him. He can indulge in the sense gratificatory activities or intoxication, and he can just lie down. Nobody is looking at him. So these are the three ways how a person looks at this material world. It will change, means to whatever degree the person is affected by the three modes, accordingly the thinking or the intention will vary. So why this all happening? It is because the mind is contaminated. The mind is colored with the different modes of material nature. Now, if you cleanse this mind, if you clean or if you purify this mind, then what will happen? This we can see practically. When we purify our mind, the vision we have towards the material world will change. Our exploitative nature towards the material world will change. Then we will become sober. As Prabhupada also went to America, and there are so many people who are aspiring to go to America. But what is the intention? Many people go to America or European countries thinking that it's a place for enjoyment. There is no restriction. You can get everything abundantly. You have a lot of money. You have a lot of freedom. Nobody is there to ask you because all your elders, all your parents are in India. So you are free bird. So just go there and enjoy. But Prabhupada also went there. But Prabhupada, being a pure devotee of the Lord, he is not affected by these three modes. So what he saw, when he saw these hippies who are there in the street, they had no shelter. Even though they had shelter, they have given up everything. They are not following any rules and regulations. Prabhupada was feeling pity for them. How can I deliver these people? They don't know what is the purpose of human form of life. They are living like animals. They are intoxicated. How can I deliver them? How can I give them Krishna? So these were the thoughts that Prabhupada had for them. So that is the difference between a pure devotee and a materialistic person when he looks at this material world. Now the Namaparadha state, if you want to come to the Namabhasa state, purify the mind. When we purify the mind, we will look at this material world with a different attitude. How to purify the mind? The mind is flickering always, as Arjuna himself told, Vayoriva Sudushkaram. You cannot control the mind. You may be able to control the wind. Wind, it is so powerful. The wind can do anything. It can destroy entire city. A tornado can destroy everything. But that wind also can be controlled, but not the mind, because mind is very, very subtle. As compared to air is grosser. The mud is very gross, but compared to mud, air is subtle. And subtle than the air is most subtle is the mind, which is very, very difficult to control. It can travel anywhere. You cannot control. You yourself cannot control it. It will carry you also along with. Then what has to be done? Krishna will give the credit only for our attempt to control mind. Completely controlling the mind is not in our hand. But definitely you can try to control it. You observe the mind consciously and check where it is wandering, where it is going. It will definitely jump outside when you chanting. When you first bead, when you start the Panchatattva mantra, and then
Bluetooth नहीं झालं.
when you are gradually move on for second mantra, third mantra, the mind will start wandering here and there. The eyes starts closing, or either the mind will praise you, oh, your chanting is very good. Okay, go on like that. Then gradually the mind will itself will go away. Or it will say, this chanting is not so good. I want to do something else. Some other work is there. Somebody is calling you. Your calling bell is ringing, or your mobile, whatever, somebody is calling, or yesterday somebody told you something. Now it is pending work. After chanting, you may forget it. At least you write down here somewhere so that you don't forget. Or the other person may feel offended if you don't do this. So many thoughts will come continuously, like flood. So then you just have to try to control the mind, or try to bring back the mind. Shanai Kshanai Uparamate. The mind goes away, bring it back. Again goes away, bring it back. Again goes away, bring it back. Gradually, you have to feed this holy name to the mind. Like small child, which is 1 or 2 years old. If you give the food, what the child will do? It will not simply just sit like a good boy and eat everything. He will run here and there. It will take one morsel and run some 100 meter. And again, you have to run behind the child and give a little bit. And again, the child will run away, or it will cry. I don't want like that. The mind is also doing the same thing. It is not accepting the holy name because it is not tasting very good, or it is tasting bitter. But slowly, we have to give the holy name and choose a good place where we can concentrate on the holy name, or there is an environment where many people are involved in the spiritual activities, or which encourages you to practice spirituality, practice the Krishna consciousness. Such places, such association we should choose, and at least come to the Namabhasa state. Coming to Namabhasa state is not ordinary. The Namabhasa state itself is capable of taking us back to Godhead. The purpose is served there itself. The very purpose of human form of life is going back to Godhead will be served even before you achieve the ultimate goal, that is Krishna Prema. Just by attempting to hear the holy name of the holy Lord Krishna, one can go back to Godhead. This is told by Haridas Thakur himself. There is a big debate in this, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you see. There are other people who disagreed for this, and the Lord himself proved that whatever Haridas Thakur told is correct. Now, what is the highest? That is Krishna Prema. If you are coming to the Shuddha Nama, then the Krishna Prema itself will come to us. That means the liberation is not the goal of Bhakti. Goal of Bhakti is getting Krishna Prema. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahetu Ki Tvai. He is not aspiring for going back to Godhead also. He is aspiring for Krishna Prema. And we have the Pranam mantra for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Krishna Prema Pradayate. We are not glorifying him as, oh, you are giving the liberation. Like that, we don't pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or we don't pray like, give me some material benefits. I am suffering in this world because I don't have money. I have this problem, I have that problem. Give me some health, my health problem, let it get cured. No, we don't pray like that. And don't even pray like, give me liberation, help me to get out of this material world. We don't pray like that also. What we are praying, we want to get the Krishna Prema Pradayate. Please give me Krishna Prema. And if you have Krishna Prema, you have everything with you. Because Krishna, if you have Krishna with you, you have everything. Because Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure. And you will be happy at any condition of life. So these are the 3 stages of chanting. Stavara Jangama Deke Nadeke Tara Murti Sarvatra Hayanija Ishta Deva Spurti. A pure devotee, a person who is able to chant the holy name of the Lord in the pure state, he will see the Lord, Supreme Lord, everywhere. And he has the abode of the Lord, that is Vrindavana, within his heart itself. And the Lord is residing in that place. He will carry the Vrindavana to whatever place he goes, and he will make the entire world into a Vaikuntha place. That is the power of a pure devotee. He can deliver the entire world, and he can take all of them back to Godhead. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. In the material world, everyone is trying to become happy, and although their material attempts are baffled in every way due to their nescience, they cannot understand their mistakes. People try to rectify one mistake by making another mistake.
Continue, Mataji.
This is the way of the struggle for existence in the material world. If one in this condition is advised to take the Krishna consciousness and be happy, he does not accept such instruction. Sri Upadeshamrita, text 7, purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the diseased condition. Being in the material world and trying to adjust the things by material achievements, that is the diseased condition. And the solution is taking to Krishna consciousness. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. However, one must know that for jaundice, sugar candy is the only specific medicine. Similarly, in the present confused state of humanity, Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the only remedy for setting the world all right. Sri Upadeshamrita, text 7, purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the only solution, because Harer Nama Iva Kevalam Kalu Natseva Gatiranyata. Even though there are other processes for spiritual advancement, in general, Kali Yuga people are not capable of taking to it. The holy name is the easiest process and the most powerful process, and the Lord is very merciful to those who are chanting his holy name sincerely with humble state of mind. So one has to take advantage of this and go back to Godhead by making their life successful. Siddharth Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. The conclusion is that in order to get freed from the material disease, one must take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for creating an atmosphere in which people can take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Sri Upadeshamrita, text 7, purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. There are 9 stages of Bhakti, that is beginning from Shraddha up to the Prema. These stages one by one we can clear by chanting the holy name of the Lord constantly in association with the devotees. Now coming to the next shloka. So till here we have studied about Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. That is, in the text number 1, we have studied about how to control the 6 urges. And in the second shloka, the obstacles for performing devotional service. Then third one, what are the 6 principles that aid devotional service? Fourth, 6 loving exchanges. Association according to the 3 levels of devotees. And how to view the devotees. Finally, chanting the holy name. So these are the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. If you remember Nectar of Devotion, we have studied there are 2 types of or 2 stages in Sadhana Bhakti. In the beginning, it is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And in the next stage, It is the Raganuga.
Raganuga Bhakti.
Yeah, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Now we are entering the stage of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti study. How it is performed. It is almost a repetition of nectar of devotion, whatever we have studied. But here the things are spoken in more specific manner. So going to the text number 8. 1 to 7 is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. 8th one is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. 9 to 11 is Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. Here Anuga. Anuga means to follow someone. We say Rupa Anuga or Prabhupada Anuga. Anuga means to follow someone. Now Raga Anuga. That means we are following in the footsteps of the devotees who are in the Raga Marga. That is, they are called as Ragatmika Bhakti, Ragatmika Bhakta. The devotees who are already in the service of the Lord, like the Radharani, Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj, the Vrindavana devotees, all the gopis and gopas, they all are called as Ragatmika Bhakta. We cannot become Ragatmika Bhakta, or becoming Ragatmika Bhakta is not the goal at this present moment. What is our process or our what we have to try for is going to the Raganuga Bhakta. That means after performing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, with continuation of that. That means we should not give up the chanting or other processes, whatever given, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. By keeping all these processes together, the person will advance towards the Raganuga Bhakti. As you go on performing the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, the person, his mind will purified, his existence will be purified. Then gradually he will be able to identify what is his spiritual identity, what is his relation to the Supreme Lord. Is it the Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya or Madhurya? Which is your relation? What is your relation to the Lord? At this present moment, we will not be able to do that. But once the person realizes the real relation as Jivera Swarupa Krishnara Nitya Dasa. So Krishnara Dasa, yes, that is true. But what is the rasa that you have with Krishna? Once you realize that, then the person will follow the footsteps of those devotees who are in the same rasa. If a person is in the Shanta rasa or Shanta rasa, he is want to exchange with the Lord, then he will follow the devotees who are in the Shanta rasa, or Dasya, or Sakhya, or Vatsalya, or Madhurya. In whichever raga or whichever rasa that person is realized, according to that, he has to find a person who is already in the perfected state, who is a Siddha, who is a devotee, who is a Ragatmika Bhakta, and follow in their footsteps. For example, a person, he is in the Sakhya rasa. That means he wants to be with as a Sakhya rasa with the Lord. Then he has to follow the footsteps of the Gopas who are having friendship with the Lord. But you are not taking the position of those people. You are following their footsteps of them. That means you are helping them in serving Krishna. At the time of initiation, we also give oath to the spiritual master that I will help you in your service to Srila Prabhupada. That means we are assisting the spiritual master in giving service to his spiritual master and the Guru and Gauranga, Lord Krishna, as Radha Govinda. We are only assisting them. We are not taking their position. That is also wrong. Generally, in material world, it happens. Okay, the highest position is there. Once that person gets retired, I will go and take his position. So that is not the condition in spiritual world. We should only try to follow in their footsteps and assist them in their service to the Lord. Whatever possible in my hand, that I have to do, so that I will also get the benefit of being with the Lord or taking the association of the Lord. The Lord will show his mercy not only to the person who is directly serving him, but also to the person who is serving the servant. In that way, the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti will begin. And this is called as Sadhana Bhakti. That means you have not come to the perfectional state. You are still following the footsteps of Raganuga, this Ragatmika Bhakta. Then after that, the person will develop the Krishna Prema. In that, there are two states. One is Bhava Bhakti, other one is the Prema Bhakti. Now, Bhava Bhakti is separated from the Sadhana Bhakti and it is separated from the Prema Bhakti also. It is something in between. What is the need for having another term called Bhava Bhakti? We could have directly told Sadhana Bhakti and Prema Bhakti, or a practitioner and a perfect person. You practice and you become perfect. But there is a state in between that is called Bhava Bhakti, where the person has cleared all his anarthas and he is constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now there is no need of pushing, or somebody don't have to tell him that you have to practice Krishna consciousness. The love of Godhead has already awakened in his heart, but still there is some little bit more, the anartha, some subtle anarthas, or maybe it is remaining, like Jada Bharata, the Bharat Maharaj. He was in the Bhava state. That is the 10th state of Krishna consciousness, or the Bhakti, in the Bhava state. He has lost interest in the bodily conception of life, material opulence, knowledge, and all kinds of attractions. And he has understood who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is undisturbed by the Maya. This is the character of a Bhava Bhakta. But in the Prema state, the person will develop the pure love for Lord, that is Krishna Prema. So that is the difference. To differentiate between these two, there are two things are made, that is Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. So Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. So these things will be studied in the next coming text, that is text number 8. Please open the book and see the shloka. Tannamarupacharitadi sukirtanano smrutyo kramena rasana manasi niyojya tishtan rajetadανuragi jananugami kalam nayedakhilam iti upadesha saram. This shloka ends with the word Upadesha Saram, and the name of this book is Upadesha Amrita. That means Saram means essence. The entire essence of this book is present within this one shloka. So what does it say? Archana Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Yes.
Shri Upateshamrita, text 8. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, utilizing the 24 hours a day in the chanting of the holy name. So, how to achieve this? This is, of course, told for the Raganuga state, because text number 8 comes under Raganuga state. How to understand how a person can remain, or how one can remember the Lord 24 hours if he has so many other activities to perform. We are not sitting in one place like Babaji and just take the whole beads and chant Hare Krishna 24 hours. We have so many activities to perform. So here the essence is, whatever activity we are doing, the purpose behind that should be to please Krishna. As Krishna says in our Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. Think of me and then perform the war, or you fight the war. We should not forget Krishna and fight the war, Arjuna. Or you should not completely give up the war and only practice Krishna consciousness. This Arjuna in the beginning, he told Krishna, I will give up everything and I go to forest and I will live like a saint, or I will just give up everything, sannyasi. But Krishna stopped him. Don't do this, because it is not meant for you. You are a Kshatriya. You have duty to perform. But at the same time, don't be just a materialistic. Okay, I am a Kshatriya, I will fight with everyone and I will win the war and I will enjoy. That is also wrong. So what is the correct one? You perform your activity with an intention to serve Krishna. Why you are performing the activity? Just like you are doing the duty. What is the purpose? I want to maintain myself. I want to maintain my family. I want to serve the devotees, or I want to contribute for the temple. I want to be a part of congregation. So what is the purpose? Make everyone devotee, make yourself devotee, make an environment such that we can perform our devotional activities. What if you don't do this? You give up everything and you just sit in one place and just keep chanting the holy name of the Lord. Then you may not be able to do what you are capable of doing otherwise. So 24-hour chanting means you have to perform your activity. Along with that, you have to remember the Lord. The example, how a mother, she is always engaged in the household activities. She has so many things to do. She has to cook the food, clean the vessels, clean the house, and at the same time, she keeps an watch on the child. If there is a small child, she is capable of managing the child as well as she is able to do all the household activities. And the purpose of doing all these activities is to please the child or to keep the child happy. If there is no purpose, if there is no family, if there is no husband, wife, or child, there is no family members, nobody is there, then the person, will he do that activity? No, that purpose itself is not there. Means what is the motive? There is no motive. So in that way, the devotional service has to be performed. The very activity that you are doing, behind that, the purpose should be Krishna. And without that purpose, your activity has no meaning. Then we can call this as a 24 hours a day, the person is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is in Krishna consciousness, nicely chanting and remembering the Lord. And residing in the Vrindavana or residing in the Holy Dham. This also we should understand what does it mean. We should go to the holy name, holy dham. We should go to yatra and take the association of the devotees. But it is not recommended for everyone to go and stay in the Vrindavan or the holy dham place. What is recommended? We should make the place wherever we are living, that place itself as the Vaikuntha or Vrindavana. We should make every house into Vrindavana, every house into a Vaikuntha. Prabhupada, he left Vrindavana to give Vrindavan to the entire world. So when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, and when more and more people comes to Krishna consciousness, that place itself will become Vrindavan. So that is the meaning. A person should live in Vrindavan means one should live in an atmosphere where there is a very good opportunity for practicing Krishna consciousness. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shri Upadeshamrita, text 8. In this way, one should reside in Vraja, Goloka Vrindavana Dhamma, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
One more thing is going to the holy name, holy dham. We must take the association of devotees. If you are just going for the holy dham for taking a bath, then that is not real Tirtha Yatra, because your Tirtha Yatra is not complete. Because there are many animals also in the dham. They also take bath in the pond. They also take bath in the river. But the consciousness is not there. Because they don't have that consciousness of spirituality, they will not get the benefit of taking bath in a holy dham. So when we know the purpose, or when we know what is the potency of that holy dham, and then we take the association of the devotees. In association of the devotees, we discuss about the pastimes of the Lord, and then we spend time in the spiritual place. Then it has a value, it has meaning. But if you are only just going there like a picnic and spending some time, and it may give you some satisfaction. Oh, I have gone to a Tirth Yatra and I have come back. It will only give you some satisfaction, but it will not give spiritual benefits. If you want to achieve real spiritual benefits, once you go to the holy dham, you have to take the association of devotees, the people who are there, and if possible, try to do some service in the spiritual place, and do some spiritual activities, either chanting or reading the books in association of devotees, doing kirtan. So it is recommended, go along with the devotees. Then all these things will be served. If you are going alone, it is not that you should not go alone, because there are many considerations. But if you go with the devotees, there is a lot of opportunity for practicing Krishna consciousness. So in this way, the people can sit together. These are 6 Goswamis, and discuss about the pastimes of the Lord. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This stage is called Raga Bhakti, or devotional service in spontaneous love. At that stage, the devotee can follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna and Vrindavana. This is called Raganuga Bhakti. Shri Upadeshamrita, text 7 purport. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the Raga Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. We are following the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhaktas. These things we have already studied. There are 5 rasas in which one can have relation with the Lord, or one can do the exchange with the Lord. First one is Shanta Rasa. Shanta Rasa example you can see in the picture. All the cows that are there with Krishna, they are having the Shanta Rasa with the Lord. When one aspires to be like Krishna's cows, or the stick or the flute in the hands of Krishna, or the flowers around his neck, Krishna's neck, these all are in the Shanta Rasa. And Dasya Rasa, that is serving the Lord. One follows in the footsteps of servants like Chitraka, Patraka, or Raktaka. These are the names of Gopas who had Dasya Rasa with the Lord. There are 2 kinds of Gopas. Some of the Gopa are the covered boys of Krishna's age, or elders. They had Dasya Rasa with the Lord. That means they are serving like this menial service to the Lord. Or some people doing Sakhya Rasa with the Lord, like friends. They will tease Krishna, they will play with Krishna. They will ask Krishna to carry them on his shoulder. So those things they used to do. That is Sakhya Rasa. And there are even Vatsalya Rasa, where they consider Krishna as their son, the elderly Gopas. So this you can see Sakhya Rasa. Here one of the Gopa is telling Krishna, you close your eyes and open your mouth. I will put some sweet in your mouth. And this Gopa, what he does there, you can see in the picture. Instead of putting some sweet, he is putting a flower inside his mouth. So flower, it is not very pleasing to eat the flower. So that is Sakhya Rasa. They will tease Krishna. They'll make Krishna to cry. They'll shout at Krishna or like that. So if Krishna leaves the play in between, like many Gopas will be playing with Krishna, and Yashoda Mata comes and calls Krishna, enough, now it is enough for today, come back, you have to take bath. Then Krishna says, my mother is calling, so I am going back. So these Gopas will say, if you go now, tomorrow onwards, you don't come with us to play, if you're going in between. So Krishna, he will not be able to leave the play, or he will not be able to go also. Means he will be in dilemma. So these are Shakya Rasa that they are following. One can become a friend like Baladeva or Sridhama or Sudhama. They all play with each other. And one can have Vatsalya Rasa with the Lord, characterized by parental affection. One can become like Nanda Maharaj or Yashoda Mata, like mother and father. Krishna gave this opportunity to the entire Vrajavasis by taking the forms of these Gopas and even the cows. Krishna took the form, just like in the example of a Brahma Vimohan Leela, when Brahma kidnapped the boys who were taking care of the cows. Krishna expanded himself into those boys, so that Krishna himself went to their house in the form of their children. So he gave the affection of the mother and father to each and every Gopa and Gopi at Vrindavan. And the Madhurya Rasa, the Radharani and Gopis, they had this Madhurya Rasa with the Lord. One can become like Srimati Radharani or her lady friends, such as Lalita and her serving maids, the Manjaris, like Rupa and Rati. So Radharani, her Sakhi, Manjaris, all these are people are having the Madhurya Rasa with the Lord. So these 5 rasa one can have with the Lord at the prema state. Just like when we have Shuddha Nama, when we chant the holy name of the Lord in the pure state, without any offense, then a person can come to any of these states. This Shanta, Dasya, Vatsalya, Sakya, Madhurya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. Now there is one more question to be clarified. Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrasi. In the transcendental realm of Praja, one should place himself under the direct guidance of his particular associate of Krishna and should follow in his footsteps. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana and the stage of sadhya, when one is a siddha purusha or a spiritually perfect soul. This when a person comes to the pure Shuddha Nama state, or when a person becomes pure devotee, wherever he is, that place becomes Vaikuntha, or wherever he is, that itself is Vrindavana. For him, there is no difference between material world and spiritual world. At the same time, when the person in this material world, he is present, and when he is in the spiritual world, he will be present in both the places. His spiritual world, he will be doing the service to the Lord constantly, eternally. At the same time, he will be coming to this material world as a purpose that to be served by, that is given by Krishna, and he will do that work. So that, so these two things are given as sadhana and sadhya, stage of sadhana and stage of sadhya. He has sadhaka rupa and siddha rupa. Here sadhaka does not mean the practitioner like us, who is very beginner in spirituality. The sadhaka rupa word is used when these pure devotees come to this material world and they also perform devotional service and give us an example how a person has to perform devotional service. It is like the teacher is writing on the board and the child is also following it, or the teacher is holding the hand of the child and making him to write. It doesn't mean the teacher doesn't know how to write, but it is only the teaching. Similarly, these devotees who are pure devotees, Shuddha Bhakta, when they come here, it's called as Sadhaka Rupa, and in the spiritual world, they have Siddha Rupa. When they come to this world, the rasa that they have, it may not be shown externally. Even though they are having Madhurya rasa with the Lord, like Rupa Manjari or other Manjaris, they have Madhurya rasa with the Lord. But when they come here, they will have a Sadhaka Rupa and they will do the Sadhana Bhakti only. They will not show the Madhurya rasa or the dealings with the Lord to the ordinary people, because the purpose of them coming here is to deliver the people. So they will also behave like a lot of austerity they do. Like the Goswamis, they don't stay under one tree for more than one day. Every day they will go to different tree because they will not get attached to that place. And they're called as Goswamis. That means they are controlling their senses. That means they look like a practitioner, or they are like sadhana bhakti, but they are already sadhya. That means they already come to the perfection. Why we are discussing this point is, in this material world, when a person practicing Krishna consciousness at a particular state of time, at a particular stage, the person may claim that I have come to the perfectional state now, and I don't need these rules and regulations to be followed. So that is not allowed. That is called as Siddha Pranali. In any state of spirituality, a person cannot give up the rules and regulations. He has to follow. As Krishna says, I have no responsibility. Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. I don't have any responsibility in this material world, but still I follow. Why? Because I want to give some example. Yadyad acharati shreshta tattat evetaro jana. If I myself don't follow, then what will happen to these people? They will also fall down. So that's why I will follow, so that they will also do the same. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Similarly, Rupa Goswami, we know he is a Manjari. He has Madhurya rasa with the Lord. But we don't find Rupa Goswami wearing a gopi's dress and performing certain kind of activities like a gopi. Rather, we can see Rupa Goswami, he is very strictly following the rules and regulations, and he is busy in writing the literatures and guiding the devotees. He is doing his duty perfectly. And it is very easy to follow their footsteps. Whatever instructions they have given, whatever they have told us, it is easy to, it may not be easy, but it is possible to follow whatever instruction. But when a person becomes a Siddha Pranali, that means he is not following the rules and regulations, claiming that I have already come to the perfectional stage, so for me there is no need of following. We cannot follow them. By following them, we cannot call ourselves as Rupa, the Raganuga state. So Raganuga, one becoming Raganuga means it may not be visible in the external, for the external people. Your activity remains the same. You will be chanting the holy name of the Lord. You will be following the 4 regulative principles. You will be following Ekadashi and associating with the devotees. Everything will be same. Only thing is your consciousness gets elevated. Your attraction towards Krishna gets increased. It will not be, there will not be any change in our external activities. These activities will remain the same. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Yes, Mataji.
Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrahi. The advanced devotee who is inclined to spontaneous loving service should follow the activities of a particular associate of Krishna's in Vrindavana. He should execute service externally as a regulative devotee as well as internally from his self-realized position. Madhya Leela 22.158. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So here we can see externally as a regulative devotee, internally as self-realized position. So externally, one should not imitate the pure devotees or liberated people. One should practice the devotional service as if he is a beginner or he is a practicing. He will not make a show of the spirituality. I have come to the perfectional state, so I don't have to follow these things. If the person does, then others also will follow the same, or that itself will become the goal of their life. When they're chanting Hare Krishna, oh, when I will be able to give up this chanting? If that is your mentality, then your very purpose of practice is lost. When I will be able to give up following for regulative principles? If that is the purpose, then it is totally wrong. So that should not be, and that is not the purpose of spirituality. So when we say here Rupa, Raga Anuga, it does not mean at all saying that you can give up your activity, or you will be able to imitate, or you will be able to give up these difficulties or austerities, whatever you are following. That is not the meaning. It is the elevation of consciousness. The person will be able to realize the presence of the Lord. The person will become more dear to Krishna. That is practiced internally, but externally, here as a regulative devotee, he will continue his practice. So this is about Raganuga Bhakti. Next, Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. This is given in the text number 9 and 10. In this, we study about the hierarchy. There are two things. One is the material world and spiritual world, and the people in the material world and spiritual world. These two are having the hierarchy here. So text number 9, you can see 9 and 10. Vaikuntha janito vara madhupuri tatrapi ratsotsavad vrindaranyam udara pani ramana tatrapi govardhanaha radha kundam ihapi gokulapate premamrita plavanat puryadasya virajato giritate sevam viveki nakaha. First, we will study about hierarchy in the material world and spiritual world, and then different types of human beings. Then finally, the glories of Radha Kunda. In the text 9, if you see the translation, the holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha we know, Vigata Kunta Yasmat Vaikuntha. Where there is no kunta, there is no problems of this birth, death, old age, disease, or apavarga. That is called Vaikuntha. But Krishna is personally present in Mathura. This Mathura is more than the Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha Janito Madhupuri. Then, what is better than Mathura? The transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavana because of Krishna's Rasa Leela pastimes. Mathura is a larger area, that is larger place. Within Mathura we have the Vrindavana. This Vrindavana, it is more auspicious or more elevated spiritual platform because Krishna has performed his pastimes there. And what pastime? It's the Rasa Leela dance he has performed in Vrindavana. And superior to the forest of Vrindavana is Govardhana Hill. Again, Govardhana Hill comes within Vrindavana. Within Vrindavana again, which is the highest, is Govardhana, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. Now within Govardhana Hill, that means within the place where it is the Radha Kunda. We can see Radha Kunda near to the Govardhana Hill. So above that and above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kunda stands supreme. for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokula, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakunda, which is situated at the foot of Govardhana hill? This is the question mark by Rupa Goswami. Is there anybody who doesn't want to serve Radhakunda, which is the highest abode of spirituality? So we should go to Radhakunda and take the association of devotees and perform devotional activities in Radhakunda. So this is the hierarchy of Radhakunda. Devotees endowed with the true spiritual intelligence perform bhakti while residing at Radhakunda, either in their material bodies or in their spiritually perfected forms. So Rupa Goswami, being fully conversant with the devotional sentiments within the Lord Chaitanya's heart, has described service to Radhakunda as the topmost. The glories of Radhakunda are incomprehensible and inaccessible even for the devotees who may have taken shelter of Madhurya Rasa, yet are devoid of devotion to Lord Chaitanya. So that is the glory of Radhakunda. We should go there and take the advantage of being in Radhakunda. But Prabhupada has warned us, we should not go to the Radhakunda with a picnic mood. Like any water body, just people go there and enjoy the water sport, just make some enjoyment. If you are going there like that of my mentality, then you are committing an offense. Because whatever sinful activity we do in other places, when we do Tirtha Yatra, it gets cleansed. It will be nullified. But if you do these offenses in the Tirtha Yatra itself, then it will not be cured. There is no solution. Anya kshetre kritam papam, punya kshetre vinashyati. Punya kshetre kritam papam, vajralepo bhavishyati. It becomes vajralepa. That means it will become more hard as the diamond, which is the hardest object. So our sinful reaction, which is performed in the spiritual places, holy places, it will be giving 1,000 times more benefit. It is not benefit, 1,000 times more punishment. Just like if you perform devotional service in the spiritual places, it will give 1,000 times more benefit or more advantage will have. You chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna mantra, sitting near the Radhakunda, it will have more benefit, more spiritual result you will get. Similarly, if you perform any material activities or sinful activities in Radhakunda, that also gets 1,000 times multiplied. So that is the danger. One should be very careful about this. Now let us see these places one by one, description. Nandita Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mathura. Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are considered superior to the spiritual world because the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself appeared at Mathura.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So more than Mathura is the Vrindavana. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Vrindavana. The interior forest of Vrindavana are considered superior to Mathura because of the presence of the 12 forests, Dwadasa Vama, such as Talavana, Madhuvana, and Bahulavana, which are famous for the various pastimes of the Lord. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Higher than Vrindavana is the Govardhana hill. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Govardhana Hill.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, please.
Krishna lifted Govardhana Hill like.
Just a minute, there is some problem. Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Krishna lifted Govardhana hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus-like beautiful hand to protect his associates, the denizens of Raja. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, continue, Mataji.
Krishna tends the cows with his cowherd friends. He had his rendezvous with his most beloved Sri Radha and engaged in loving pastimes with her.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So finally, the Radha Kunda. Radha Kunda at the foot of Govardhana is superior to all because it is there that love of Krishna overflows. This place is the site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani, that is Rati Vilasa. The importance of Radha Kunda, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas, nor can persons uninterested in the devotional service of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radha Kunda. So you may not be able to hear these pastimes or importance in other Sampradayas. That may not be possible. In the Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Radha Kunda glory we can understand. Next, hierarchy of spiritual beings. So spiritual places, we have seen the hierarchy. Now in text number 10, it is talking about hierarchy about the spiritual beings. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti prema parama premaika nishtastataha tebhyasta pashupala pankaj drishastabhyo pisaradhika preshta tadvadyam tadiyar sarasitam nashrayet kakriti. So it starts with the karmi. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruity workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. So better than a karmi is the jnani. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, jnanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to the devotional service. That is bhakta. One who is free from the knowledge which is impersonal knowledge or other types of knowledge. One whose knowledge has come to the perfection, he will understand Krishna is the supreme. Then Vedaisha Sarvai Rahameva Vedyaha. He will become a devotee. So more than a jnani is a bhakta. And in that also there is one more, that is, he is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. That is prema bhakta. The bhakta means he may be a beginner. Then prema bhakta is the perfection, a person who has achieved the perfection. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Lord Shri Krishna. Among the prema bhaktas, gopis are the highest. And then the gopis are the exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon the Shri Krishna, the transcendental covered boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost, dear to Krishna. Her kunda, that is lake, is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radha Kunda and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, that is aprakrita bhava, render loving service to the divine couple Sri Sri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kunda are the most fortunate people in the universe. So this is the hierarchy of devotional places, devotional people, spiritual beings. It starts with Karmi up to Srimati Radharani. Now let us see these 5 people one by one in this hierarchy. I request all of you to raise your hands for reading. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Gopis. They do not know anything other than satisfying Krishna, nor do the Gopis expect any return from Krishna. Indeed, sometimes Krishna puts them into extreme suffering by separating himself from them. Nonetheless, they cannot forget Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Vipralamba Seva. When Krishna left Vrindavana for Mathura, the gopis became most dejected and spent the rest of their lives simply crying in separation from Krishna. This means that, in one sense, they were never actually separated from Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Siddharth Prabhu.
It is Vipralamba is coming. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Hare Krishna. No problem. Vipralamba Seva. There is no difference between thinking of Krishna and associating with him. Rather, Vipralamba Seva, thinking of Krishna in separation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, is far better than serving Krishna directly. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hierarchy of spiritual beings. Srimati Radharani. No one can excel the devotional service of Srimati Radharani. Indeed, even Krishna cannot understand the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he took her position and appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just to understand her transcendental feelings. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. We have learned this in Nectar of Devotion, that is meeting Krishna and giving direct service to Krishna, and also serving Krishna in his absence. That means thinking of Krishna constantly. Among these two, remembering Krishna in his absence is more intense because the object of love is not present outside. So the person's remembrance inside, it will become more and more intense. Now, any material object, it may be different. We may feel it. There may not be any spiritual effect. But when it is related to Krishna, it has spiritual benefit. Just like when Krishna steals butter, we don't punish Krishna, but rather we praise Krishna or we worship Krishna as butter thief. So that itself becomes his name. So whatever he does, it is all spiritual. Similarly, when Krishna is intensely remembered within the heart of these gopis or Radharani, Krishna is there. Krishna is there within their heart. Krishna is there in his remembrance. Because there is no difference between Krishna's name, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's paraphernalia. Everything is same. So if you are remembering Krishna, means you have Krishna with you. That is the absolute nature of the Lord. The Lord is everywhere. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinatvat Nama Namine. Abhinatvat Nama Namine means Nama and Nami. Nama means name. Nami means the person to whom that name belongs. There is no difference for Krishna. For us, there is difference. Our name and our person, it may not be same because this name is kept for this body and we are not this body. But Krishna, it is all same. There is no inside and outside for Krishna. Whatever we speak of Krishna, remember Krishna, think of Krishna, do service for Krishna, it is all Krishna himself. There is no difference. But when you do the service to the Lord in his presence, as compared to the service you do in his absence, that is Vipralamba Seva. The Vipralamba Seva is more intense. So Krishna created this situation for the gopis so that they have so much love for the Lord, they cannot live without the Lord and they always remembering the Lord. So this demonstrates the intense love for the Lord, how a person should feel, how a person should worship the Lord. Generally, if you are missing someone, then it may be for some time and then we may forget. But in case of gopis, the whole life they spent in remembering Krishna himself. And that pain is also pleasurable. It is not only the material pain. In materially, people go mad if they miss someone or something may happen. They cannot take it. But in spiritual aspect, that pain is also pleasurable. Just a person is thinking of Krishna and trying to understand how great Krishna is, how great his pastimes are, how nicely he is taking care of his devotees. And all these things, when we remember that Lord and when we realize that that person, that great Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is available for all the devotees for receiving their service. So when they remember all these things, it makes them shed tears and they have that feeling which cannot be expressed otherwise. It cannot be compared to any material objects. Material objects, anything you lose, you will feel sad or it will be very painful. But spiritually, it is pleasurable. Anyhow, we are not in that state, so we can't speak much about it. But only this much we can understand that gopis are always thinking of Krishna and they are the greatest devotees of the Lord. So coming to the last shloka of this book, that is text number 11. कृष्णस्योच्चै प्रणय वसति प्रेयसीभ्योऽपि राधा कुण्डं चास्या मुनिभिरभितस्तादृक् एव व्यधायि यत्प्रेष्टेरपि अलम् असुलभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभाजां तत्प्रेमिदं सकृदपि सरस्. And of all the lovable damsels of Vrajabhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love. And in every respect, her divine Kunda is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Now here, the highest gopi is Radharani. That was the conclusion of previous shloka. Now who is the dearest to Krishna? That is Radharani. Radharani is the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. That means she is the head of all the devotees. That means if you compare every devotees, any type of devotee, Radharani remains at the top. And for Krishna, she is the dearest devotee, or she is at the topmost. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Undoubtedly, Radha Kunda is very rarely attained even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhu. Hare Krishna. Certain technical words like Vipralamba Bhava is thinking of Krishna in his absence. And also there was one more word called Ashtakaliya Leela. That means the Kaliya means, Kala means time. During different times, Krishna is performing different pastimes. That is called Ashtakaliya Leela. There are 8 activities, pastimes of the Lord. It is termed in Sanskrit, I'll just read out. Lord Shri Krishna's pastimes with his devotees in 8 periods of the day. That is Nishanta Leela, pre-dawn pastimes, and Prata Leela, pastimes that Krishna performs in the morning, and Purvahna, that is forenoon pastimes, Madhyana Leela, midday pastimes, and Aparahna Leela, afternoon pastimes, Sayam Leela, that is pastimes at the dusk, Pradosha Leela, evening pastimes, and Ratri Leela, midnight pastimes, Sadhakas who perform smarana meditates on these pastimes of the Lord. Now, finally, Krishna is this 11th shloka is talking about the glory of Radha Kunda, taking bath in the Radha Kunda. I read the translation. Okay, this itself is Radha translation. Lata Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Radha Kunda text 11. It is stated that a devotee will at once develop pure love for Krishna in the wake of the gopis if he once takes a bath in Radha Kunda. Srila Rupa Goswami recommends that even if one cannot live permanently on the banks of Radha Kunda, he should at least take a bath in the lake as many times as possible. Shri Upadeshamrita, text 11, purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right. Thank
Krishna
you.
Prabhuji.
Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Who then will not reside at Radhakunda and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhava, render loving service to the divine couple Sri Sri Radha Govinda. Sri Upadeshamrita text 10. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the summary of 11 texts that we have seen. The first 7 is talking about sadhana bhakti, that is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, then Raganuga sadhana bhakti, then finally last 2 shloka are talking about, the 3 shloka are talking about prema bhakti, bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. So with this we have come to the conclusion of today's session. This is a brief description. We can read this book more and more times and understand whatever Rupa Goswami has given. All of you please read the book and understand the deep meaning by the translation of Srila Prabhupada. Now, if you have any questions in regard to today's session, you can raise your hand and ask the questions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have 3 questions. First, you said in transcendental realm of Raja, one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and should follow in his footsteps. This is applicable both in the stage of sadhana and sadhya. Prabhuji, when you do that, in Vrindavan, everybody is under the care of Radha Rani. Krishna is not he is remembered, but Radha Rani is the Ishta Devi out there. So, but when you follow Radha Rani, you disconnect with everything. Like you go to Radha Vallabh, Radha Rani is the main. You go to Prem Mandir, Radha Rani is the main. In fact, even the rickshaw people, like in Delhi, they will, like my rickshaw was colliding with another rickshaw. There also 8 people, here also 6 of us were there. So my rickshaw, e-rickshaw wala said Radhe. The other person also said Radhe. It was from heart, they are used to saying this word. Whereas in Delhi, there would be choices, abuses they would be sharing if the 2 vehicles were to collide. There, by heart, people say Radha Rani, Radha Rani, Radha Rani. But we say Krishna. So when you place yourself under Krishna, you go out of the parampara.
Pardon? Last sentence, what you told?
You move away from parampara because they are not following any parampara. They are not part of parampara. It is natural for them to remember Radhe. They say Radhe. It is part. Radhe is part of their life.
Okay, you're talking about Vrajavasis, how they are connected to the any Guru Parampara and their. Yeah, this is a discussion many devotees do. Actually, they are already blessed. They have the blessing of being in the Vraja Bhumi, and they are practicing Krishna consciousness. They don't come under our jurisdiction of these instructions. We cannot bring them under our this one. So we should not imitate them also. It is everyone must be connected to the parampara system so that one can go back to Godhead. That is the instruction. But for Vrajavasis, they are not ordinary people. It is very rare to get an opportunity to take birth in the Vrajabhumi to become a Vrajavasi. And it is not recommended for everyone to go and stay there or and staying in Vrajabhumi and living like a ordinary person doing any other business and making livelihood. That is also not recommended. The real Vrajavasis, they are very blessed people. They are already devotees. So we don't have any comments on them.
So we should not follow them like other sampradayas. The sampradayas were established there only. So we should not.
You should not imitate. You can.
Prabhuji, the second question.
You can be inspired by their devotion to Krishna, but don't imitate them.
Prabhuji, the second question is, what is the difference between gopis, sakhis and manjaris?
How they are serving the Lord. The Radharani has sakhis, and sakhis will be directly serving Radharani. Manjaris will be assisting the sakhis in service to Radharani. Like that. The hierarchy is there.
And gopis, Prabhuji?
They all are called gopis.
Okay, Prabhuji. Third is, Prabhuji, bathing in Radhakunda. Prabhuji, I know Ganga waters are always pure, and it is my eyes which are not pure, but people do throw flowers when they pray. They throw flowers and other prayer material in the kunda, and it starts decaying. They clean it after few 10, 12 years, but it is not regularly cleaned, and there are fishes also in it. And people do not keep it clean. And there is no other place where you can have a change of clothes, though people take a bath. So how is it that one can have a bath also? And because people do throw flowers and diyas and do their puja entirely in the kund, and there is no restriction as to what is doing. So how is it that if I want to have a bath in it once, how can I do it? I cannot do it.
Your question will be answered if you take the association of devotees. Okay. Practically, there are many people who are taking bath in these holy places. You just go with them and learn how it is done. If I explain here, it may not be of useful for you.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you have already explained this several times in NOD, but I'm still asking you. Please forgive me for testing your patience again and again. But I'm still not understanding this Bhakti, Prabhu. What you said in text 8, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is that you follow all the regulations and then you develop your devotional service Bhakti. Then I'm not understanding this Ragatmika and Raganuga. Are they the same? Are they different? What I didn't understand this, Prabhu.
Okay. Radharani is in Ragatmika state. And one who is following the footsteps of Radharani is a Raganuga. Gopa, if I say take the example of Sudama, who is a Sakha of Krishna, he is a Ragatmika Bhakta. Who is following the footsteps of that Sudama, he is a Raganuga Bhakta. Here, following the footstep means what? We are not imitating them. If you are imitating, then it is wrong. But you following means you be inspired by their devotional service to Krishna, how they are attached to the Lord, and in what mood they are serving the Lord. assist them and take that mood. That is Raganuga. Anuga means to follow. If you want to follow someone, you need someone to follow. Someone, no, you want to do. Just like as you in schools, we say you should associate with good students so that you will also learn better in your exams.
Yes.
For your exams. That is there is a need for a person who is in the lead. That is Ragatmika. And the person who is following them is Raganuga. Hope this is clear for you.
Prabhu, it says Vrajavasis, Ragatmika Bhakti is manifest in Vrajavasis.
Yeah. Yes.
So we are supposed to follow in their footsteps.
Yes.
Not imitate everything that they do, but follow in their footsteps.
Yeah, there are many things Vrajavasis will do, but we should not do. Like Surya Puja and other many things are there. And
Okay.
Following Ekadashi. These things they may or may not follow, but we have to follow as a regulation.
Okay.
So we should not.
Prabhu, yes, Prabhu. Sorry, sir. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I can't remember, but what is the story for this Radha Kund? I don't remember how it was formed, or there was some story. I don't know if you only told us, or I heard it in some other class in Bhagavatam or something.
About what?
About how this Radha Kund was formed.
Radha Kund was formed.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, there is a story in Purana. Yeah, it is like Radharani was telling Krishna that you have killed Dhenukasura and you have, it is a offense.
How?
Like Gohatya you have done. So you have to purify yourself. You have to go and take bath in so many holy places.
Yes.
Then Krishna says, why should I go to holy places? I'll bring the holy places here itself. So he makes a kunda, that is Shyama Kunda. And he brings all the holy places there, holy rivers there. So he takes bath. Then Radharani says, no, this is not supposed to be done, because you are only created and you are only purifying yourself. That is not correct. Then she told, I will make my own kunda here. So she made another kunda, that is Radha Kunda. I hope whatever I know I told, but there may be more in detailed way of explanation. Whatever I remembered, I just told.
Yes, Prabhu, this is the story itself, but there was something else, like she made it with her bangles or something. I don't remember those details, but this is the story I wanted to hear.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Siddharth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavata Pranam Prabhu.
Prabhu.
I have two questions, and if I ask the second question first, then perhaps I cannot ask the first question. So therefore, I'm asking the first question. So first question is, there is a word Bitaraga, Bitaspruha, that is in chapter 2.56. So there raga is attachment. But here raga nuga is not attachment. It is something else. So I think the meaning is changing here. So that is my first question. So I think first I ask this, then I go to the next.
There is no difference in the meaning. Raga, it's attachment only. See, in material sense, what is bad, in spiritual sense, it's good. In the 15th chapter, we have seen. Urdhva Moolam Adashaka Ashwatam Prahuravyan. Here it is considered as bad. In spiritual world, it is good. Like in material world, we say Vairagya. But what is real Vairagya? Attachment to Krishna is real Vairagya. Detachment from material world is real Vairagya. So Raga also, when it is in material world, it is giving a negative result. We should not get attached to any of the material things. But the same thing when it's applied in the spiritual world, you should be intensely attached to Krishna. Tatra laulyam ekala mulyam. Going back to Godhead, what is the only price that you have to pay is you should have the greed for seeing Krishna. You should have greed for hearing about Krishna. So the word greed is bad in the material world. It is needed in the spiritual world. We should understand the proper application. So raga is same. Ragatmika means the people who are very much attached to the Lord. Raganuga means the person who is learning to get attached to the Lord by following the people who are already attached to the Lord. So the meaning remains the same. But here in Bhagavad Gita, it is told, Vitaraga means you are detached from the material things. When we come to material world, our heart is having some vacuum. We should love someone. If you don't have family members, if you will love your dog. That is, it will fulfill that vacuum within the heart. So when you come to material world, we get attached to so many things. Now Krishna is telling you remove that attachments. It is not that you remove first, then you add Krishna. Rather, you add Krishna, then that gets removed automatically. Just like when you get the higher thing, lower things will go away automatically. So that is actually called as raga. So this raga is bad, that raga is good.
Okay. So basically from Vitaraga to Sthitaraga. So here we become Sthitaraga.
Yeah.
And second, so I'm coming to the second question, which I said that if I would have asked this, then I would have not asked the second. The first, sorry. Is that I have a strange feeling now that all my questions are all meaningless. I mean, even if all my questions are answered, what's the point if I don't get the mercy? So the process in which we are getting it, the devotee association that is happening, knowledge is also happening at the same time. But ultimately the mercy is important. So, and you are saying it is the last class. So therefore I'm worried for that.
No, that is like, see, as Krishna goes, Krishna asks his Gopas, go and ask for some food from the Yajnik Brahmins. And they don't give to the Gopas. At that time, Krishna says, when you are begging for something, you may or may not get it. But don't worry, begging was your job. You have done it. So mercy is like, it is costless. You can't say you have to give. But you have done your job. But one thing is sure, that Krishna is not an ordinary person. He is the most merciful person. And he will never fail in his activity. He is Achyuta. So definitely he will save us. He will show the mercy. There is no doubt about it. At the same time, he is fully independent. He can do anything. We should hope for the best. So just practice your Krishna consciousness. And it is also true that in each and every step of our life, we are depending on Krishna. We are breathing, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Gama Vishya Bhutanam Dharam Yaha Mojasa Pushnami Chaushadi Sarva Soma Bhotva Rasatmakaha Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayuktas Vachamyanam Chaturvidam. I am the one who has created the sun. I am created moon. I gave the taste in the vegetables, fruits. I make you to eat the food. Because there is taste, you are eating the food. It is not that you are thinking of eating. Because there is taste, you eat. If there is no taste, you can't eat. So that taste is also given by Krishna. And once he feeds the food, within our stomach also, he only makes it digest. And then he only supplies all the energy. And he is the one who is the pranavayu. That is also he only. So every step he is working. So there is no doubt that whether he will look at us or not. He is looking at us every moment. It is only thing we should realize it. That's all. When we realize it, that itself is great achievement. We should just understand how much intense love Krishna has for us. That itself is a great achievement that we make in our spiritual life.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I was also talking about the end of the class. I mean, what we should do next.
Yeah. End of the class means the session is ended as per the schedule. So definitely we will meet again in the next coming any of the sessions. Definitely, it is not the end of all conversations. this Bhakti Shastri, as per the schedule, today is the last session. Yeah. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, even I want to speak about the last day of the Bhakti Shastri, Prabhuji. Actually, this course has brought in a good change in me. Every weekend, if we are not having this class any weekend, then that week itself is like something incomplete. Only when we attend this class, we all get a peace, and we actually change every week. We get some one or 2 points every week, which we will try to follow from that week. It was like that in my case. So I was very happy that we were meeting every weekend. Definitely, if there is any other meeting like this, that is next course, I will definitely join, Prabhuji. And this weekend classes, if we are not having, it is actually like incomplete, Prabhuji. That week itself is incomplete. It is like that. And every after this beginning of this Bhakti Shastri course and the end of the Bhakti Shastri course, I have a great change in me. I was not at all thinking about taking up initiation. I was not at all thinking about giving up onion, garlic, and all that. Garlic we left in the level 3 itself. They said we have, but onion was followed because everybody having onion at home, so we were taking that. But nowadays, maybe in the mid of this course, I stopped. Nowadays, I'm not having onion also. All these changes were brought in only because of your association. This weekend, these people who are coming in, only because of you people, there were so many changes in me, Prabhuji. So I'm extremely happy that I was a part of your class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Next week, when we are meeting for examination, I would like to sing a bhajan, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So next week will be the examination. This is 31st will be the December 31st will be the examination. And I also thank the temple, His Grace Namanishta Prabhu, for arranging all these facilities for us. We can all meet together, and he brought all of us together here and made us to discuss these books of Srila Prabhupada. We have given an opportunity, and also I thank all the devotees who have helped us in performing these classes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Lata Mataji.
It's the Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's heartfelt thanks to you for taking us through this journey, Prabhuji. In fact, I'm unable to express how we would miss these classes, Prabhuji. In fact, we would like to have this association again and again so that we don't slacken behind. So about others, I don't know. I'm very easy to slacken. So I want this association to continue, Prabhuji. I don't know how, but after this exams, because spiritual path is very tough. And moving out of this material, this thing, and thinking of Krishna and being in this path, we want to be associated so that we are moving slowly. And this is my humble request, Prabhuji. Maybe we could associate in a different platform. And if Bhakti Vaibhav is starting off, so that many of us would join immediately, so that we progress further, because my progress is very slow, Prabhuji. I don't know what kind of transformation has really happened in me, because it's very slow. And because maybe that's what in the last class also I said, I'm very slow in my progress, but I think of Krishna, I think of Radharani, and I do my chanting and other regulative principles, I know, which is not at all sufficient. And I only pray for His grace and mercy so that we all progress and we all follow this path, which is the ultimate path, and go back to the Godhead and be in the transcendental service of devotional service of Krishna consciousness, how even yatra and other things, Prabhuji, for the group, if it is organized, and we would like to be a part of it. Even our association with ISKCON Mangalore, many things have been organized. Sometimes, every time, I don't know, Prabhuji, every time I think I wanted to join, but some obstacle or the other comes. Every time I say I should be a part of this yatra, I should be a part of this yatra. But as you say, no, when the obstacles keep hitting again and again, and I had to cancel, I had to not, I know, as he's testing and again, how firm our faith is. So how firm my faith is. So this is my humble request, Prabhuji. Let's have this association. I don't want a break in this association, because that gives me strength. That gives me the spiritual strength in all odds. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Siddharth Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Please unmute yourself.
I want to repeat the same thing what Lata Mataji said. There will be sorry for this repetition, Prabhuji. It will be a repetition, but it really means that there will be a absolute void to handle in Sundays if something is not there. I mean, so thank you once again. My heartfelt thanks to you. But please, can there be something, some forum, some format, something can be arranged which can carry on with our studying and association? I'm just repeating for the sake of repeating, but not for the sake of repeating. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. The Bhakti Vaibhav classes are there. You can join there. It will
So
start at a new beginning.
link will come that time.
It has yet to be planned. The entire process has to begin. Yeah, not yet begun. But now there is some process remaining in this Bhakti Shastri, that you have to give the final exam and all your assignment processing, marks, all those things. Then it will go to the Mayapur. Then you will receive the certificate. By that time, it may take 1 month, 1 or 2 months it will take. Then after that, we can plan for, once you receive the certificate, you can plan for Bhakti Vaibhav.
The Bhakti Vaibhav is only after successfully completing Bhakti Shastri.
Yeah, it's a prerequisite, Bhakti Shastri.
It's a prerequisite. Okay. Hare Krishna. No, that I didn't know. I was referring to something like even before that.
It is possible to start, because it is certain that you have cleared Bhakti Shastri. You can start, but it begins only after your Bhakti Shastri ending. That means you must have Bhakti Shastri degree if you want to proceed in Bhakti Vaibhav. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna.